Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Friday Night Review. I am Scalz, and tonight it is just me and Cam, two boys running the show. How you doing tonight, Cam?
Doing pretty good, man. This was a pretty sleeper of a Smackdown, but it ended really, really well. So glad to be here.
Yeah, I mean the show tonight. They had the they had its big moments. They had the little going on throughout the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, let's move on to the segment backstage with Nick Aldis and LA Knight because this is very interesting, and this is what I've been wanting for a long time. You had LA Knight go into Nick Aldis's office, and he asked about Logan Paul. We are finally getting Logan Paul and LA Knight for the U.S. title, and I'm really hoping this is when they get the belt off of him and give LA Knight his championship run.
I think so. I don't see why not. I don't really see what else Logan Paul is really going to do with the championship. So, like I said, we've been talking about it. The community's been talking about it for so long. Logan Paul versus LA Knight, and LA Knight getting that United States Championship run. So, I think this is where we finally get it for sure. So, I think they're definitely setting this up.
What about the segment between LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes, though?
That was hilarious because first of all, LA Knight was just like, first of all, let's get your names right.
Well,
I am LA Knight, Logan
hold on.
Paul. What you're talking about?
I was gonna say before we get started on that though, what about LA Knight trying to get Kayla to try and say yeah, and
Yeah,
she just kept ignoring him and kept a straight face. Like he was so like it's just so well played. And then Mello didn't flop on the mic. He made a mistake. He said the wrong name, and it happens. But the way that LA Knight didn't just ignore it and threw into it is like I can't find myself. What are you talking about? Like it just was so good.
yeah. Because I like how they turned a mistake into dialogue essentially between the two of them. So that's just thinking quick on your feet, in the moment
But that's how great LA Knight is.
for sure.
Oh, stop it, Shadow. Being buried.
He's literally just doing that to get your reaction.
Yeah, I know he is. But I want to see them fight too again. Because I think that could be a good match the second time around.
Who Mello and Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Um oh, Flop Mellow Haze. Ridiculous. Let's talk about the tag team division in regards to the tag team champions, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Tonight there was a singles match between Ciampa and Theory. And during the match, Grayson Waller says that he is the one that created and gave Austin Theory back his edge. Like he brought everything back for him, saying without him, Theory would still be a nobody. What do you think of that?
That's crazy. That's a pretty big claim. I mean, I don't know. I would say, yeah, he kind of lost some of his edge. Like after Mania, it wasn't the same because I think before that, he was really on fire. But Mania, I think the match with Cena obviously just really didn't do him any favors. But you know, Theory right now, I say, like I said, he's getting back up to where he was. The match with him and Champa, I wrote this down as one of my candidate for matches of the year. I thought this was a great match. This was awesome. Everything except for like the ending. Again, like I said, I like definitive endings
Mhm.
with finish moves, hit 1, 2, 3. But other than that, I think it was great. I loved how they called. I don't know if they've done that before or it's been a while. I think. But I loved how they called Tommaso Ciampa the Psycho Killer because they kind of moved away from that name for a while because it's not like PG or whatever. So I loved how they referred to him as a psycho killer again. And like I said, the longer that match just went on, it just got better and better. So these two guys can definitely work, and I wouldn't mind seeing them wrestle again for sure.
Ciampa is so good. Like him and Johnny Gargano need to get the tag team championships, or they need to break up. One of the two, because they can't keep going at the same pace that they're at right now. Because it's either one week they are great together as a tag team, or they're teasing to break up. What's it going to be? We need to figure something out with them. And I say, in order for that to happen, let's get the belts on them sooner rather than later.
Yeah, agreed.
Because having them have the belts opens up the possibility of actually going against true tag teams, because they have been together for a lot longer than Waller and Theory. Theory and
Yeah,
Waller were just thrown together, where Gargano and Ciampa have been tag team many times in NXT and before that. So I think the better matchups for the tag division are with them as opposed to A Town Down Under.
yeah, I think so too. And I still think even saying that, I still think that A Town Down Under still have enough I get enough experience, the little experience they do have, enough experience to give DIY a great championship match. Like I think that's going to be a banger. Like when they eventually do wrestle each other for the tag team titles, I think that's going to be a great match. I really do. Like you're putting four great talent that SmackDown has right now in the ring, and I think it's gonna be a great match. That's what made DIY great before, right? It really didn't matter. I mean, I guess it mattered of who they were facing, because they were facing like legit tag teams back in NXT, but I think you still could have put them against a thrown together tag team such as Down Under and had a great match, just because number one of how great DIY is, but you also have those you also had those heels that they had back in NXT that just made them that much bigger. So and I get what I said right now. I think A Down Under just has that heat right now that they will produce a very good match in the ring for the tag team title. So and I think that's what they're gonna do. I think that's the right move to get DIY those tag team titles. Because I mean, if they don't beat A Town on Under, then who will? I really don't.
Right.
I have no idea who's next. So
Well, we have coming from this match tonight. Next week, we have the other members of the tag teams facing off against each other, with Grayson Waller going against Johnny Gargano, which can be another banger because they fought in NXT and they have history.
yeah,
Because remember, right before Johnny Gargano left, when he was leaving NXT, Waller took him out. Did he ever get payback for that? No,
uh,
I don't think he did.
I don't think so. I know they feuded for a little bit.
But this could be a culmination of that as well.
Hmm.
And I know they worked well together in the ring down in NXT. So I can only imagine, if given time, what they can get up here. And then from there, I think that's when we're going to get the tag match happening at Clash of the Castle. So I'm hoping that we do have a new tag team champion in the near future. And I think DIY deserve it. So we've covered that. What else are we missing from tonight?
We had Andrade versus Apollo Cruz.
Weird seeing Apollo Crews back on our TV.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's Apollo.
And we're going to see him again next week.
Yeah,
Next week, he's taking on Angel from Legado del Fantasma. So I'm liking how they're building him into this storyline. I'm curious as to see what he's gonna get from this, as opposed to just losing matches and being a jobber for everybody. But I think I know it's gonna further develop the story between Andrade and Legado. So I'm curious as to see how much further it's gonna keep going from there.
my hope is that he develops into like SmackDown's Ricochet. because they've really started to build up Ricochet as of recently, and now he's tied up on Raw with Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker. So that's my hope, is that they start to slowly build Apollo going into uh, SummerSlam. So that's my hope. You know.
That'd be nice. I mean, he had a nice little run down in NXT where he was
Mhm.
in going for the NXT Championship. He could prove he's a great. But I think that's it, though, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we covered everything.
All right. Well, let's head on out for the evening. Where can we find you, Cam?
Well, you can find me right here every single Friday night with Friday Night Review with Scalz and whoever we decide to have on, or if anybody. And then, of course, you can find me on our sister page on River City Radio every single Monday night on the table spot after Monday Night Raw with Mike and, of course, the Alpha Wolf Sean. And, of course, on Wednesday night, same place, every single Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite with The Boom with myself, Phil Khan, and, of course, Metalcore Mike. And then on my socials, you can find me on TikTok at Call Me Cam G, Cam's Wrestling Corner, and Cam's Squared Circle Mania. And then on Twitter/X, you can find me there at Cam and Cheese 317. And if that does not sizzle your bacon, you can find me on Instagram at 317 Bacon Eggs and Cam.
I am Scalz. You can find me here on both Tuesdays and Fridays on NXT on Tap and FNR. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at _. If you want, we also have a Discord where you can come in there. We do predictions for all the PLEs, all the pay-per-views. It's a yearly tournament. It's very fun. It's a great time. There's a prize at the end. In addition to that, we do giveaways. I will be starting a giveaway tomorrow to have a winner announced by the end of June. I hope that everybody enjoyed the show tonight. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, drop some comments, share it out there, help us continue to grow so we can keep bringing you content like this. Again, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Hope you all have a great evening. Have a great night.